Get the snack too.
Yeah, I love to sit here eating, but
Hello, guys. Welcome to the Off the Field podcast with George and Louis. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Plenty to talk about for us in the first episode today. Plenty of football and headlines this week.
Maybe just probably just start it simple and maybe talk about the weekend's results, Champions League. I suppose we will probably start off with the first big game last weekend, what was Leicester Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably a good place to start.
Yeah, not for the Liverpool fans who are listening, but yeah, certainly a good watch for most people, as most people dislike Liverpool.
They were right for 70 minutes, 78 episodes. Was it 78, 75 minutes, about that? And then went downhill from there.
Yeah, certainly.
Do you think that goal should have been ruled? Was it Madison's equaliser? Do you think that should have been ruled out for offside?
It's interesting with that because I think I do think if it's offside, and I think it's in Haaland where if the lines overlap or they're touching, they just rule it onside, even if it's on, they just call it off. I think they should do that here as well, just because it's just hard to call it. I personally think it was onside. But
one thing I've noticed, and then obviously we'll talk about the Champions League later, but from watching the Champions League in general and then watching the Premier League, I don't think VAR is necessarily the problem. It's the people behind it.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it with David Luiz and his red cards, and obviously
there's no consistency.
Was it Bednarek as well for Southampton? Their red cards and they
identical. Yeah.
Both questionable decisions. The Bednarek's was overturned in the end, and that was a decision made by VAR. So it's. I don't think that's the problem. I definitely do think it's the people behind it.
Mm.
And like I said, I think it's a difficult one to say whether it should have been ruled out. I mean, because Amartey's definitely interfering with play. He's making a gesture to go towards the ball. He hasn't touched it. But he's making a gesture to go towards it. But so I don't know. It's a tricky one. I'm still unsure about whether or not it should have been ruled out or not.
I think VAR in general is a good topic, especially. Well, it seems to be every weekend. I think refereeing's got worse with it coming in. Referees almost scared to make decisions. That's what I feel.
Yeah, they're too over reliant on it. They kind of hide behind it. If that makes sense. I think they kind of think, I'm just going to let VAR decide and not myself. And then it's like, because even with them going over to the pitch side monitors, they're still kind of like, I think we've seen before, when they go over to pitch side monitor, players trying to still, what's what I'm looking for here? Sort of like, can't think of the word. In a sense, push them to make a decision, sway. That's the word. Sway the decision making when they go to that monitor. I mean, Aspilicueta did it.
It went over there and started shouting at the referee.
Werner was fouled. I don't know how the keeper wasn't carded there. That's a stupid hand itself.
There's just no. It's weird, isn't it? Because when you watch Champions League. I don't think I've ever watched a Champions League game. They have VAR, and I never see a decision where I'm like, God,
the officiating is a lot better. It's the same in well, it was the Euros because they used in the Euros, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they used.
Would have been the World Cup in Russia,
the World Cup where they used VAR, and I thought it was perfect. It's just the officiating in English football is dreadful.
Yeah, it is bad.
Two things that are not normal in the Premier League is the schedule and referees.
That's one quick thing I do want to mention, actually, is that along with doing podcasts, sort of recapping the events happening at the weekend, we've also discussed possibly doing a podcast where we cover a single main issue, so whether it be VAR, refereeing decisions, or abuse. So you are interested in that, please let us know. We will attach our Twitter page and also the comments on YouTube as well. But if you listen on Spotify, then head to our Twitter page and let us know. You can also send in questions there as well.
Yeah,
for
leave
us to cover and
questions
talk
down
about.
below. Yeah.
But if you want us to do that, it's something we think of doing. So we could sort of just spend like an hour and a half going fully in depth on a single issue. So please do let us know instead of sort of covering it briefly in these podcasts. But yeah, I suppose obviously after the Liverpool game, obviously Alisson made another error.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know
I don't know what's
doing
happened to him the last few weeks.
And obviously Liverpool's defence just didn't look. The third goal was all over the place.
Nah.
It's,
I mean,
it's
I've
not
never rated Trent, but
No,
that's
when you
getting a
play
lot of
alongside
arguments,
Van
right?
Dijk,
Yeah.
most of your mistakes aren't going to be noticeable because he's going to cover them all.
Yeah.
But when he's not
exactly.
there, the magnifying glass is really over your mistakes and how often he's making them. Because attackingly, he's really good. I mean,
defensively, he just can't be asked.
Defensively, he's
just jobs
nothing
there.
there.
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon if I played with Van Dijk, I'd look half decent.
Anyone. Put them alongside, Van Dijk or whoever, they're gonna look decent. And I think Trent's probably one that maybe because it spoke about when he sort of first came through that later on in his career, maybe him moving into midfield. 'Cause I think he spent a lot of time.
Yeah, because he started as a midfielder, I believe. Yeah.
And there's always something that was like maybe later on down the line that you look into moving in there. But I think maybe it's probably something that should probably happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
If,
I think so. Especially with missing Henderson in midfield, they need something.
That's the big miss for Liverpool, I think, as well, is Henderson not being in midfield. I mean, I don't know why they didn't go out in January and buy, not a world-class centre back, but like a top class.
Yeah, they sort of bought two in, but it seems, I don't know, they're just sort of papering over the cracks, it does seem. But
I mean, one of them from Preston, who was it?
Preston, Ben Davies.
Ben Davies, I don't know, I can't remember who. Honestly,
I've never heard of him. Never heard of him.
I should have probably written that down. I remembered it, but I don't even think he's made the matchday squad for the past two games.
Whereas Kabak started both games.
I mean,
I felt sorry for him in that Leicester game because
I felt sorry for him in that game, but
Alisson
he looked really good against Leipzig.
Yeah,
on Tuesday. I'm really impressed with him there. I don't know. It's just, but anyone coming into that position has got a massive gap to fill because like I said, Van Dijk is one of, if not the best centre back in world football currently.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Or Liverpool fans, the best of all time.
Mm. On topic of Liverpool, on the topic of Liverpool, do you think they'll finish top four?
Yeah, I definitely that's in question. I think
as long as we don't drop out, I'm happy.
as long as I say Chelsea.
I think Leicester have got some tricky games coming up.
It's a tricky one because I think Leicester looked better than last season, but then at this point last season they were doing quite well.
Yeah, then they had the flop at the end.
But they've had a lot of key injuries.
They've
got
Vardy picks up
Vardy's
injuries.
Marty Evans.
Solanke was injured for a while.
Yeah, exactly. They've had key injuries and they've dealt with them really, really well.
Yeah.
And annoyingly, United looked better than they did last season as well.
Yeah, that always was. Yeah. Well, but I mean, United without Fernandes are literally.
Yeah, but then they've done something they should. They filled a good big hole last season, which was like up front. I feel like that bringing Cavani has really helped them a lot because
presence up there.
Where you look at it, he is a world class striker.
Yeah,
he's just.
I mean, he's just a fox in the box, and he knows where the goal is.
And
against us
I think
plenty of times.
The big issue is that centre back partnership of Lindelof and Maguire. Why, Solskjaer thinks it's a good partnership, I'll never know. Because if you put a pacey striker, he's getting in behind those two 9 times out of 10.
Oh yeah, honestly.
That's the
Maguire, the £80 million fridge.
I honestly think it's just a case of you've just got to keep winning games and hoping that teams to stop playing. I mean, one of Liverpool, United, and Chelsea are probably going to miss out on top 4.
Yeah, it's the way it looks.
And it's the way it's going to be. Because, like I said, the competition and the quality in the league is just getting better and better. I mean,
there's no doubt City will be probably win the title.
Yeah, I mean, the quality of the City squad is just phenomenal. I mean, I saw a tweet the other day where just City, they've got players who probably on average put in like a 5/6 out of 10 performance, but then it's the likes of Sterling, Mahrez, Foden. They're the ones who constantly put in 9 out of 10 performances, and it's just the depth and the quality and depth that City have got is like, it's like they needed, after last season it was clear they needed a presence at the back. They went in, bought Diaz,
yeah, good player,
and then he's made John Stones look like prime Maldini. I'm not John Stones is improved massively from that.
He's gone from not playing to probably, I would say, one of the first names on my team for the Euros.
Exactly. That's what a presence at the back does. That's what I said. Like Van Dijk, for example. It's having that presence, having that someone next to you who's confident, who's calm, who will just show you how to do the basics.
Yeah, and we forget with City they've done it all pretty much without Aguero. Yeah, and without a striker for many weeks. I mean, they turned up at Stamford Bridge, didn't they?
Not playing with a striker, because if you really analyse it, they have Rodri or Fernandinho. They're the only one who has a set position. Yeah, and then it's like
everyone just floats around.
Everyone just floats, and it's just like it's a nightmare because you don't know who you're marking.
No.
And then you even got I'm struggling with names today. What's going? I don't know. My brain's just fried. But Cancelo, that's the one. My brain.
Cancelo,
yeah. He's dropping into midfield a lot. So City almost have like a back sort of three.
They're sort of
Cancelo. Sort of dropping into to help out Rodri, or Zinchenko does it as well. Zinchenko sometimes drifts into.
Yeah, both their wing backs sort of push in and sort of play. It was almost like a 2-2, and then everyone else is just floating around. But yeah, I can't see them not winning the title from here.
So I think it's just the squad's going to keep getting better. So I think they're the target for everyone else, because Liverpool haven't got the strength and depth. United don't really have the strength and depth. Leicester definitely don't. Spurs don't. I'd argue we do, but then,
Yeah, you never know with Chelsea, do you? You never know.
It's a sort of, I mean, we're moving from Liverpool then and go on to City against Spurs. Was it 3-0? 3-0, I believe it was.
Which game? City Spurs. City Spurs. Yeah, 3-0. Spurs were absolutely pathetic in that game.
I don't know what's wrong. I mean, there was times when Spurs fans were going about win the league, and I was actually worried for a point. I was like, because that's the thing with Mourinho. He knows how to win league titles, but I feel like his methods of doing it are outdated.
Yeah, they're outdated. I don't think his defense is good enough. I mean, Eric Dyer.
I've watched them at times this season, and they go a goal up. They look good, and then they park the bus against like Brighton or Fulham or. I'm thinking, why?
The best example is West Ham went 3-0 up.
Yeah,
absolutely bold.
Was hoping it would drop Lanzini.
So we'll say for Chelsea, who would you rather have in your team, Haaland or Mbappe?
Haaland, I'll explain, because if you're going to base it on what Tuchel is currently doing with Chelsea, and what I think will probably be the shape and the system going forward, well, I think we'll probably stick with the three at the back. And I mean, maybe we'll talk about this in a bit. I don't know if I spoke to you about this before, but I've said before, and I spoke to people about this before, that three at the back has always been the best system available to us based on our squad.
Yeah, we have the wing backs for it,
and it's not just the wing backs; it's also a case of we don't really have wingers.
Yeah,
CH is an inside. He's either 10 or an inside forward.
Yeah. I mean, you could play Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi out there, but I think Hudson-Odoi in this new system has been brilliant. I think
I think if you're looking forward, like go. I mean, if you go back to, even as far back to the academy, in the academy we do play three at the back, and I do think maybe going forward we should maybe look at to move in like Reece into either midfield or right centre back, and keeping Cal out as a wing back and having like a front three of Werner, Mount, or Havertz, which is why I said Haaland, because Mbappe is, I mean, he's versatile. He could play as, out, as an inside forward or as a striker, but I think as an out and out striker, you would want Haaland.
I think Mbappe is the better all-round player, but like you said, Haaland for the system, 100%. I think
Mbappe is the better overall player now, but if you put Haaland in,
yeah,
because he's just slightly behind him, because Mbappe's been playing since he was 17 for Monaco.
Yeah, he's been around for ages, and he's still.
So he's more developed. I mean, Haaland was playing in Austria, right? He was playing with
RB Salzburg.
Yeah, so he's playing in Austria, which is, he's it's not. It's you
not the best,
talk about League One being a farmers league and all this.
It's a ski instructors league, mate.
In the Austrian league, so I think Mbappe is just more developed, which is so.
You better hope there's no Austrians watching, mate.
Oh, no, of course. Every single one of them.
Yeah, you're gonna have them on strings.
Yeah, as you said, no, Mbappe is the more developed player. But if you put Haaland into a team of more quality and put that time to develop him, he's gonna be just as good, if not better, than Mbappe.
Like his hat trick against Barca, unbelievable.
I mean, you're looking at, dare I say it, the next Messi, Ronaldo. Right?
Bold statement.
I mean, could you name two other youngsters right now then that you'd put up there?
At that standard, scoring the goals they do, not really, no. At the level that they do, no.
Exactly. So you are definitely looking at the next. Because there was that question, wasn't there? Of would Haaland be able to go when he went to Dortmund, but he still could produce the kind of goals he was producing, and he is. You can't say he isn't, and I think he's definitely done the right thing, going to Dortmund. And it's all about the next club for him.
Yeah, because Dortmund are a selling club. We know they are, usually to Bayern Munich, but right. Moving on now, from sort of top 4, top 6 to bottom 3, who have been in there a while, still a little bit adrift. Do you think it will stay that way? Them 3 are doomed, or can you see?
No, I mean, if you think about it, Newcastle.
I'd love them to go down. They're so boring.
It's a good away day, though. It's a good away day.
It's a good away day, but
if it's on
I won't miss them steps. I won't miss them steps.
No, I don't know how they got away with that song, but on the weekend, after you lose to Newcastle away, which Chelsea always seem to do, night out at Newcastle, top tier. I think for them are 6 points adrift, and they've got some tough games coming up. I reckon Sheffield United and West Brom are down, but I reckon Fulham can claw Newcastle.
Fulham maybe, down. Yeah.
But Brighton and Burnley won't go down.
Nah, I think Burnley will be okay.
Unfortunately, I'd love them to go down as well. Actually,
I quite like Burnley. I like the. I mean, they don't have a lot of money, and they've done quite well.
Actually, here's another question for you. Actually, so Burnley got taken over in January, didn't they?
Yes, by an American owner.
Do you think? Because I think Sean Dyche done a phenomenal job at Burnley, considering that their quality of the squad is probably Championship at best, most of it, other than Lippo.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Really, and Tarkowski is very good. But do you think with a bit more money he can maybe? Do you think he'll improve them, or do you think maybe they're going to start investing more in the squad? They're going to need a better manager, because I don't think he's a bad manager.
I'd keep the manager. Thing is, they all complement each other. All the players, like the long balls, I don't know, they're not nice to play against.
There's got to be a point where you think, because these guys probably coming at thought, right, you know what, we can keep Sean Dyche and what he's doing, and we're just staying in the Premier League every season and just just take the money and invest it into whatever. Because if the American owners have probably got like an American football team or baseball team.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Or they could think, well, we could maybe do something here and try and turn Burnley into. Because there was a point when they were in the Europa League.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? I think they got knocked out by Olympiacos, maybe.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think if they're going to spend money, I would be interested to see if they did sign some, like Newcastle, like a Fraser and a Wilson, see what they could do. But I can't see them changing much. Maybe spend a bit of money in the midfield.
Because every year there's always someone who thinks, oh yeah, Burnley are going to go down, but they're never going to go down.
No, they're not. They're going to be here forever, mate.
Annoyingly. But you got one, mate. I think Sean Dyche's done a really, really good job.
100%. But yeah, I think they'll stay up.
But at the same time, though, we said, Eddie Howe, I thought Bournemouth would never go down, and they went down last season.
Yeah, they had a rotten.
And they can stay down as well, actually.
Yeah.
Until they get a bigger stadium.
They're in the playoff places, though, so.
They can drop down to those, out those, please.
Nah, I think them three that are in there now will. I would like to see for them just for Scotty Parker, but I think they'll go down. And then coming up, I think Norwich will come back. And then they'll go straight back down again. Well, we won't talk too much on that. I think I would like to see Brentford come up.
And
then playoffs.
Love London Derby.
Playoffs for Championship. I'd like to see Watford come back.
Yeah, Watford. Another Londonish derby.
For that Troy Deeney moment.
And Ben Foster's vlogs would be class as well.
Yeah, Ben Foster's vlogs. Other than when they 4-1. Yeah, cycling GK. That is unbelievable.
What do you think about it, actually? That's a good question. Do you think
that is a good question?
There's some people who don't think that's right, but I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's professional, do they?
Because in game, he's not paying attention to the camera unless he's celebrating. He's got a goal. He'll go. That's the time. But
I think
in game, he's paying attention. He's focused. You think
how many people? Yeah. You look at his subscribers. I think he's almost on 500,000, and you can see how many views he gets. Could you imagine if like a Premier League goalkeeper did that? How many views they'd get? It's like there's a lot of people out there that want to see that content. Yeah, could you imagine Kepa doing it? Sliver for his legs at like one.
He's on 417,000.
Yeah, so almost 500,000.
And his vlogs do sort of average around the. I mean, well, it does vary. I mean, there's some that's gone past one. They've got 1 million views.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all in the high. They're all above 100,000.
It's just enjoyable to watch, and each video is like 10 to 15 minutes long, and
he doesn't show too much either. It's not like
it's just little snippets, isn't it?
It's not more than what when the clubs do behind the scenes. It's not more than that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, like you don't see like meetings or anything. You just see him joking around, playing sort of countdown with Tom Cleverley, and
then you just see Will Hughes swearing all the time.
Yeah, he's a character. Yeah,
and it's good.
I'd like to see more people do that, but obviously it's hard. Maybe if you're on the bench every week, you could do it. Get Willy Caballero to do it.
It only work for goalkeepers.
No,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It only work for goalkeepers.
Yeah, because if
you could do
it if you're on the bench. Donny van de Beek could do it. He's on the bench every week.
I mean, you could do like a player just vlog it, so like you don't show the in-game stuff because he got in trouble for showing the in-game stuff in the EFL, and then they kind of like, oh, you know what, you're not doing any harm. We'll let you do it.
It's just a bit of fun. Like fans can't go to the stadiums. It's just like he said actually in one of his videos, it's to sort of fill that like void of missing out in football. So I like it. I think it's a good idea. I'd like to see more people do it. Yeah, I watched I think he did one the other day that was just a cycling. Gave that a miss.
He's done a few of them with his son, I think, where he's showing off like goalkeeping drills.
Yeah, actually, no, I did see that one. Yeah, I think solely for Ben Foster's YouTube videos, I want to see Watford come up with Brentford and Norwich. So another topic, obviously, to talk about is the Black Lives Matter movement. with Brentford coming out and saying that the gesture is degrading and that they don't want to continue taking the knee before the games. And Wilfried Zaha come out and said similar thing. What's your opinion on obviously them choosing not to do it, and also the taking of the knee and the Black Lives Matter movement in football?
I thought it was appropriate at first, obviously with George Floyd and everything else going on in the world. Obviously, racism is still a massive issue in society. It shouldn't be, but I still think there's so many people who are from the era. Unfortunately, it's a real shame. But I think once we stop wearing Black Lives Matter on the back of the shirt, I think maybe we should have stopped the knee then, because I think it, especially recently, it's kind of shown that it's just not working as much as we want it to work. Obviously, it just seems to be after every game is an issue of a player having abuse thrown at them on social media, racist abuse thrown at them on social media.
And in particular, Man United players as well.
It's kind of just showing, as Wilf Zaha pointed out, it's just not working anymore. Like, I think people understanding the message behind it.
Yeah, 100%.
I do think it kind of took that one club and that one player to kind of speak out first for more clubs to follow suit. I do think we need to still show our support against racism, but maybe not taking the knee anymore, because I think it's starting to show that it's just not working.
I mean, for me, it's like, it's a weird one. Do you keep doing the nil or do you not? I mean, certainly the nil's been going on, but nothing's changing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think, like you said, I mean, the social media platforms aren't doing enough. I mean, it is a tricky one. I think there needs to be. It almost is going to get to a point where these players, Marcus Rashford, Tuanzebe, Martial, they've got to come to a point where it's like, well, I don't want to play if I'm going to be racially abused, I mean, then I'm not going to play.
I think even just like, I think if you want to stop racist abuse, you probably got to stop abuse in general. Like, it's like, I mean,
for sure.
Fans just going on Twitter after the game and calling like
the Mike Dean as well.
A donkey.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's like we don't mean it in an offensive way. I mean, also, we're not throwing racist abuse. We're not saying we do that. We're just I think just abuse in general. Like, if you want to stop one form of it, you've got to stop all forms of it. So if a player, missed a penalty or something in game, you think, instead of going on social media and at them saying, "Oh, Rudiger, you're this," or Kepa, you're this, Jorginho, you're this, whatever. Maybe just say it in your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just think, you know what, they're human too. Yes, they get paid a lot of money, but everyone makes mistakes. So you can go to work in the morning, you can make a mistake. They're going to go on social media and say, "Oh, George, you're this and that for making that mistake." No, they're not. So
no, exactly. It will have to come to a point on these social media platforms where they've got to do something about it.
I mean, I think, like I said, I think you when you use social media, you should have your passport and your driver license, a form of identification, because like there are some people who know they can go online and abuse someone and they can hide their IP. They can,
I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a picture of your profile picture. Doesn't have to be of you.
No,
but as long as you've provided some sort of, you can just make a random email with a random name, random date of birth. You can make it all. I could make it up completely. Whereas, so it's like, anyone can do it. I think you should need to sort of give that identification so people can know who you are and what you're saying.
I think you should still be allowed to be anonymous online. I think because some people
like the anonymous,
feel more comfortable doing it. Yeah. They want to be able to interact. I mean, I don't have my picture on Twitter.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
And then you've got your username's your name, so we know.
Yeah, my username is my name. Yeah, so yeah, but like I said, there's no reason I don't have my picture. I just prefer not to.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I do have my full name and stuff like that. But I think people don't want to have their full name in the picture. Fair enough, that's understandable. But at least provide photo identification so Twitter don't use base. So if you do see something racist or something out of line, that is judged as a criminal offence, because racism is a criminal offence.
In another news story this week, National League.
North and South.
Yeah.
The clubs voted to suspend the season, so end the season, not avoid it, essentially. Which was probably to be expected, because that basically means now that below National League, all non-league football is being suspended, which is something I expected to happen.
I expected this sort of thing to happen a while ago.
I'm surprised that a lot of League 1 and League 2 clubs are they're probably not comfortable, but they're still kicking along, playing games behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously for when you go below the Championship into League 1 and League 2 and National League and below especially, gate money, gate receipts are so important. I mean, I was reading into it, and it's like, clubs like Notts County, for example, a National League club who get quite a big attendance, they've lost out on a lot of money, and some clubs will be okay. They've got good financial backing and whatnot, but there are some clubs down there that just haven't got it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it also seems to be a case that the clubs who have voted for it are ones who aren't really going to be affected by it. So they're going to be like, they're probably mid-table or going to be relegated.
Yeah, I mean, you see like postponements like every week. The lower down you go, I mean, like you said, in the tiers, it's just harder. I mean, like if you're, I don't know, for example, say Bruno Fernandes at Man United, you've got people that do stuff for you so you can stay in your bubble. Like, whereas if you're, I don't know, say Chelmsford City, for example, you don't have people to do it for you. You're more exposed to catch the virus, and you don't have the bubbles as such. And I've seen plenty of games postponed this year, and it's just
you're right.
It's hard. It's hard for them to continue.
Can't get the testing yet. That's a good point. I mean, there was that issue where they thought the FA Cup wasn't really safe to play, because obviously in the Premier League, regular testing is expected.
The FA Cup,
whereas lower down you can't really afford it.
Yeah.
I mean, Leyton Orient, for example. I mean, Spurs pay for them to get the test done in the first place, and then
that game got voided, didn't it? Yeah,
it did indeed. I mean, there was games. There was Derby, and at Villa.
I know Villa obviously set out the kids. Derby put out the kids, lost to Chorley. There's probably some more examples, but
no, it is a shame. I mean, honestly, I believe from what I last read is that teams in National League, you don't get relegated down to National League North or South, but then I believe you'll still get promoted from the National League. I don't know if I fully agree with that, because if you can't get relegated, I don't see why you should be able to get promoted.
No, it is.
And vice versa. Obviously, League 2 teams are dropping down, but
it is hard. I mean, obviously, there's no right or wrong answer to whatever they choose. I mean, if they decide to just void the whole thing, the people at the top of the league will be like, well, hang on a minute. We deserve to be promoted, whereas the team at the bottom will be like, oh, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, we'll just call it void. It is difficult.
And also there'll be teams as well, because obviously last season it was not avoided, and then there'll be teams who were probably going to get promoted, and they thought, oh, okay, well, you know what? COVID's happened, can't do anything about it. Let's go again next season. They've gone again. They're back up there again. They think, all right, this is our chance, and then take it away from them again. It's soul destroying, really. It's like how you pick yourself up once, you've got to do it again.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's just the way the last 2 years been. I suppose it's been hard and it's been unfair, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately. I suppose
it's the way of the world.
Yeah. Right. As we draw to a close for this episode, it's time for 60-second predictions. So we've got 60 seconds to do 10 Premier League fixtures,
9.
which is set. Go. Southampton, Chelsea.
3-0 Chelsea.
We go 2-1 Chelsea. Burnley, West Brom.
2-0 Burnley.
1-1 Liverpool, Everton.
1-0.
2-1 Liverpool. Fulham, Sheffield United.
2-0 Fulham.
We go 1-0 Fulham. West Ham, Tottenham.
3-2 West Ham.
I'll stick with my 2-0 for that. Villa, Leicester.
2-1 Villa.
You know, I'm going to go 0-0 for that. Arsenal, Man City.
3-1 City.
We go 4-0 City. United, Newcastle.
4-0 United.
4-0 United. I'm going to go 2-0 Man United. Then Brighton, Palace.
I'm going to go with 2-1 Brighton.
We go 1-0. Yeah,
Perfect
the
close.
60-second predictions. Probably got them all wrong, but
we're gonna do like a leaderboard as well. See who gets. So I think we'll do a point if you get the if for example I win 4-0 United. Say United win, I get a point. But if I get the correct scoreline, I'll go 2 points.
all right. Yeah, I like that.
And we'll do a leaderboard, and we could do like a forfeit for the loser at the end.
For whoever loses, yeah, I rate that. I like that idea.
And then, if you've got any questions for next week, I mean, we're going to aim to have these uploaded every Saturday.
Yeah, Friday or Saturday, every weekly episodes as we go.
But obviously, we'll try and get like an extra one in the week as well, just covering a single topic. I think we might try to do one next week. Probably be on, I think, racism and online abuse might be a good first one to start with. We've got just ones, maybe like VAR referee decisions, maybe sort of talk in depth about. I mean, we could talk in depth about Chelsea for hours.
Yeah, that could be a series. That
could,
especially this season.
Christ, we could be here. We could be here for until COVID's over.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Mind you, is that ever going to end? I don't know.
that could be an episode. We talk about COVID. That would be delightful. But yeah, we'll obviously we'll have all the links and stuff to Twitter, the YouTube channel, Spotify. But yeah, if you've got any questions, find over Twitter. You want to talk, want us to cover your club a bit more, or any sort of players, let us know. But yeah, that's everything for this week.
Yeah, like Louis said, guys, thanks for watching. I can tell who's on the way out. 25 show to the